the process that we had to go through, what I would say the rather extraordinary lengths that Brittany and I needed to go through, that after being told that she had a brain tumor, that there was no cure, only certain treatment options, that she had 3 to 5 years of life was initially what we were told. And then 2 months later, at the first MRI, the first follow-up MRI, the tumor showed signs that it was growing aggressively, and they said, well, you have 6 months now. For Brittany, that did right away put put the process in motion of, she recognized that the brain tumor was going to end her life, was going to kill her in a very brutal fashion. The symptoms that she would suffer from, many of which she was already suffering from, the headaches that would not go away, inability to sleep for days on end, feeling nauseous, vomiting, the seizures that would show up and she would suffer from. What was coming next was, as the tumor grows, it puts pressure on different parts of the brain. The fact that she would go blind. If she suffers a stroke, that she would, depending on what part of the brain is damaged due to lack of oxygen during the stroke, that she would become paralyzed. She would lose the ability to stand, to walk, to communicate, to swallow. She was suffering the effects of that brain tumor. That brain tumor was already torturing her beginning in August and September and October, and Brittany died November 1st. But what was coming next for her in those following few weeks, if she had, it lasted through November 15th or December 1st, pick a day, nobody knows. But those last few weeks, that's where, to what you'd mentioned about witnessing, that woman witnessing her mother die and her father dying. Knowing that Brittany was able to have that gentle passing, it provided solace and peace and a sense of she is able to pass away in a manner that she's not struggling, she's not agonizing, it doesn't feel like she's drowning in her own that she's drowning in her own fluids, or that the pain just won't go away. Because to have that as the last memory, that's where I think that grieving process, that's what's going to haunt a person for years. She could look at the people in the room. Yeah, I was in the room, her parents, a few of her friends, my younger brother. And the person can say, just as what you mentioned with the elderly gentleman, that you can say, it's okay. It's my time. And you get the ability to say, I love you to those people, and then your passing is gentle. That's something that the brain tumor would not. Something that the brain tumor would not have allowed for. And I think witnessing that your loved one having to go through that, that's what then makes that grieving process years later. Like you said, it's been 12 months for me. And yes, there's still, I have my good days and bad days, and where I think of Brittany every day, and I miss her. And the idea that, we would be here in this house and starting a family, and we have plans for things that we would be doing. But I can think of those things, and I still can smile, and I can think of Brittany and her life, and find happiness and joy in our wedding day, in our honeymoon, in those special moments that I carry with me. Still very difficult, but I'm better able to tolerate it simply because I know that Brittany was able to, she was able to take that control back from the tumor.